On today's Hiwatt Soundbite, we're talking about your health in the studio. All right, in today's session, let's talk about your general health in the studio with topics like ear fatigue, monitor volume, and yes, caffeine. So let's dive right in and let's be healthy. All right, so this topic of health in the studio, this relates to absolutely everybody. And today we're really focused mainly on our ears. That's what we're talking about today. You know, this mechanism that we've been born with that allows us to hear sound propagating through the air and convert it to a signal that our brain understands, that is an incredible process. Like if you dive in to what's really going on, it just becomes like, I find it just fascinating. Well, that mechanism, that incredible mechanism that we're born with, it demands a level of respect. And this is something that I had to get my head around. I didn't understand this early in my career. And, you know, I mean, well before getting into music, I mean, back in the days growing up on a ranch, man, my brother and I used to go out there with the handguns and stuff and go blasting stuff. That's crazy. Some of that stuff I used to do with no hearing protection. Well, we only get one shot. We can't go into the shop and get our inner ear worked on, okay? So when I say it demands respect, I didn't understand that for a big chunk of my early part of my career. You know, back in the day when I would be mixing, oh my goodness, I would be mixing like way too loud. Okay, and so to compound that, I would be like in the studio for a 12-hour session that some band hired out of the studio. Well, I wouldn't leave the control room almost, except to maybe for a quick bathroom break and go grab another cup of caffeine, right? Oh my gosh. When I talk about ear fatigue, this is something that is one of your worst enemies as a mixer or as an engineer. One of the single best things that you can do for yourself and for your projects and for your mixes is to consistently take short breaks away from what you're doing. This has been something that took me a long time to learn, but here's the thing. I can get more done in a 6-hour mix now because of the way I do it than I ever could have done in 16 hours back in the day. And I absolutely credit most of that to being aware of my health, being aware of the monitor volume that I'm listening to, how much caffeine I'm drinking. I mean, caffeine has a really huge effect on the way you hear. So, of course, all of us react to caffeine differently, but I'm just saying, personally, I react to a cup of coffee. My ears things sound different to me when I have a cup of coffee. So you have to just be aware of that when you're in the studio and you're trying to stay up and get that midnight mix done. Be aware of how much caffeine you're drinking, how many breaks you're taking, how many hours you've been going straight at it. This mechanism, I've learned to just treat it like gold. Your ears are unbelievable. And if you make a living with your ears, well then even more reason to be healthy about it. And please turn the speakers down. Having that speaker control all the way up like this, it's not doing you any favors, guys. You have to believe me, after 30 years of mixing, monitor at a lower volume because the results you get will be so much better. And guess what? Your ears will love you for it. Well, thank you for sitting in on today's session. And I encourage you to please leave a comment or by all means, share a topic that we can do a whole session on. And if you like today's session, please consider subscribing to my channel.